Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa, and we are honoring #Thought Thursday with Summer Germann. She is the founder of Brave Gowns, and you certainly have been brave.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Tell us about the journey with your brother and how they came about.
So I think it's the theme today is almost Chicago, because I had lived in Chicago when my brother was diagnosed, but he lived here, and he came to visit us, and he had been sick for a couple weeks at UCLA Mattel here, and they thought he had strep throat and that he needed to get his tonsils out. So he said, they said, you can go visit your sister, because until the swelling's down, there's nothing we can do. And then while he was there, he just looked really, was not himself whatsoever. This kid was 9 and rambunctious and always just a beast, truthfully. And he was pretty mellow. So someone we knew, my mom used to be a paramedic when I was young, and they said, you need to take him to the doctor. And my mom did. I didn't go. And then the doctor, when my mom left that room, called me, because it's such a small town. And they said, you need to get your mom and your brother, Mac, in the car tomorrow, which was Halloween. And how do you tell a 9-year-old? And I had a 5-year-old at the time that we weren't trick-or-treating. We were going to the hospital. But it said, get in the car. Do not stop for coffee. Do not stop for food. You get him to that hospital. And when we got there, he was admitted. They were waiting for him. And they said, if we think he has leukemia, if he has ALL, we've got this. If he has AML, there's a problem. And they came back and said, he has ALL and AML, which I had both my grandparents. We never had anything. We were so blessed, and there was just this boom of a thing. And of all people, it was this kid that was like the center of our whole entire family. So they gave him a 1% chance to survive. He beat it.
Oh my God.
1% chance.
We were 1%, and he didn't do it like quietly. He had put the nurses. To this day, I'm in contact with the nurses and doctors still. He was just really full of life. He put him through heck. And but so it was the day before Thanksgiving. I had loaded up the car. I was going home for the night to get the house sterilized and ready for him, because their home was here and they'd stayed with us.
So he had beat it.
He had beat it. He was being discharged.
1%.
The papers were signed, and he was hooked up to a dialysis machine, which aren't intended for children's bodies. There was a little glitch. The nurse, who is wonderful, didn't realize right away, and he went into cardiac and had an embolism and passed within an hour. The doctors swear he waited for me to come say bye. So it was like this high of he's diagnosed, cancer-free, we're going home, to what the heck just happened.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
so sorry for your loss.
I mean, thankfully, it was 2002, so it's been 16 years. But and it took me 12 years to get there. But I promise that I was 27 at the time. We were 16 years different. So actually, I was 26. And I said, there's no way I learned this lesson in life or not. Like, I have to do something. And I didn't know what it was. I really thought, because I majored in journalism, that it would be a children's book for like the siblings, because I was old enough to see it through the siblings' eyes, but also as a parent with that age gap. And I just saw, but it just wasn't. So
tell us about the gowns. Tell us about when they began, how it began.
12 years later, same hospital, a family friend of mine, her daughter was in remission. She had leukemia, and she was so excited, and she took a picture like, yes, I'm going home. And she was in the dingiest gown. And I was like, that did not represent her spirit and the emotions they were showing. I'm like, we can do better. So not only was I sitting there, and I said to my husband, I'm like, what if we turn like hospital gowns into costumes? I would have developed products along the way. That was what I did. And he's like, throw superheroes on them. And then I thought about how the only thing in the hospital, my brother never complained, but he hated, that's a terrible word, but he did. When he was playing video games or watching a movie, and the nurses and doctors had to come in and stop to access his chest port or IVs. Like, he was just a kid. He wanted to play. This was the only control he had. So I made sure that through the gowns that the children the doctors and nurses can always access the body without,
wow.
I'm so sorry, I'm the shyest.
No.
So it has IVs.
Genius.
Thank you. I have not had a doctor that has not helped me along the way, because they love them so much, and they were developed along with a transplant team. So it's not like every time I got farther, I was like, what do you think about this? And they're like, we think you can do this, and we just got here, and this is it.
Wow, there are 33 million children who are hospitalized.
Per year.
Per year.
In the United States, not even worldwide.
And I read every 33 minutes another child is diagnosed with cancer.
Which blows my mind.
Right.
Because, go ahead.
My goodness, it's just incredible. What do you feel like has been the greatest sort of hurdle that you've had to overcome in getting the brave gowns created and getting them out there?
You know, I went back to every factory I'd ever worked with and said, how can we do this? I want to keep them made in Los Angeles. That was really important to me. I didn't want to start sourcing them. I wanted to make sure that I could touch the fabrics and know that the children were getting the best quality.
It is so soft.
Thank you. But the biggest hurdle is that these contracts within hospitals, they're generational. They're 80-year contracts. So I've had to go against big corporations who have opened their doors to me, thankfully, but where it's now, you know, it was like, oh, that's a cute little project. She's doing great. Yeah. And then now I'm a competitor, and it's.
What's been the secret to getting that, making that happen? That's not easy, right?
Childlike blind faith.
Yeah.
I swear, I knock on doors that I had no idea you shouldn't knock on, and I go in flip-flops saying, how can you help, you know?
Wow. What was your brother's name?
Mac.
Mac. I'm positive these come for, he fulfilled upon his mission for sure. Look at the beauty that he's brought through you and the inspiration. So just thank you so much for taking the lesson, the love, and transforming it into giving back. So
thank you.
Really, really honor that.
Something beautiful and brave. Where can people find these brave gowns if they want to order them?
So we can go straight to bravegowns.com. And the way that I've found to work around everything is that we can gift a gown to any child or any hospital. Instead of, you know, having to go through the contracts and deliver 15,000 at a time to hospitals, we can just filter them in. If you hear a story, I get so many people that are like, there's this little Georgia May that's in the South, can you find her? I'm like, of course I can find her. Like, this is what we do. And that's been my favorite part.
Gosh, you are such a light.
Oh.
Thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you.
It's
very
very
touching.
brave, and we really appreciate it. Stay tuned, we'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.